18 reasons why older men are staying single today. Why are older men still single in a world full of women? It's not just because they're choosing to be. It's because they've earned the right to be picky. It's a game of patience, wisdom, and strategy. When you've already built your life, your wealth, your mindset, you're no longer playing by the same rules as the younger guys. So what's stopping these seasoned men from settling down? Let's dig into the truth behind their choice. Welcome to Wisdom, Muse, the place where high-value men come to get inspired to level up their style, own their love life, and take charge of their relationships. Number 1, divorce destroys a man's life. Divorce isn't just the end of a marriage. It's a life-altering event that leaves deep scars emotionally, financially, and mentally for men. It can feel like losing everything: assets, relationships, and even part of their identity. The financial toll alone is staggering. Custody battles, alimony, and legal fees can drain years of hard-earned savings beyond the money. There's the emotional damage. The weight of guilt, loss, and broken dreams can linger long after the ink on the divorce papers has dried. It's not just a paper. It's the end of a chapter. You invested years into what's the real impact. Many men, after going through this, become more cautious about entering new relationships. They've learned the hard way that not all commitments are built to last. So what do? They value peace over the pain, choosing wisely before taking another leap. Number 2, there ain't no wives left, just women with Wi-Fi and wigs. The modern dating scene can feel like a constant performance where too many women are more interested in presenting an image than building a real connection. Gone are the days when women prioritize being wives, partners, and caregivers. Now many seem more focused on their online persona than on creating a genuine, lasting bond. Social media has shifted priorities, and it's no longer about shared values or mutual respect. It's about who can curate the best life online. The abundance of Instagram filters, Wi-Fi-driven trends, and surface-level glam creates a false sense of reality. So what's the real deal? Men who've been through this recognize that real connection is harder to come by. They're no longer fooled by the flashy outer layer. The true wife material, she's not posting every meal or filtering every moment. She's authentic, grounded, and focused on what truly matters: the relationship itself. Number 3, peace over problems. After years of navigating life's complexities, building careers, managing finances, and handling personal challenges, many older men find themselves craving peace above all else. Relationships often come with emotional chaos, constant drama, and unpredictable ups and downs. Men who have already experienced that know it's not worth sacrificing inner peace for more complications. The value of tranquility becomes crystal clear. Why choose peace? Men have worked hard for stability in their lives and refuse to let anyone, especially in a relationship, disturb that hard-earned serenity. There's no room for unnecessary arguments, passive-aggressive behavior, or constant emotional turmoil. What does this mean for relationships? They're looking for a partner who complements their peace, someone who brings balance and understanding rather than more chaos. If a relationship feels like a never-ending storm, it's time to walk away. Peace isn't just a luxury, it's essential for happiness. Number 4, most women aren't wives. They're performing until they get to the altar. The reality many older men face today is that too many women act the part of a wife only until they secure the commitment. They put on a show, playing the perfect partner, sweet, supportive, and understanding until the ring is on the finger. After that, the real person emerges. What men often realize is that the initial charm and careful behavior were just performances to land a lifelong commitment. The shift from performer to partner doesn't always happen. So how do men navigate this? They start looking for consistency in behavior. Not just flashy displays. True partnership is built on authenticity, not theatrics. A genuine wife is someone who's real from day one, not someone who morphs into a new persona after a proposal. What should you look for? Watch how she behaves when the spotlight isn't on a genuine partner, isn't trying to impress. She's just being herself. Number 5, masculinity is now considered a threat. Today's world, Traditional masculinity is increasingly being labeled as toxic or threatening. Men who value strength, leadership, and independence are often criticized for simply embodying traits that have been celebrated for centuries. It's no surprise that older men who've spent their lives honing these traits are now seen as out of step with modern norms. They feel like their very identity is under attack. So what's the real issue? Men are told to suppress their masculinity to soften their approach. But that's not natural for them. True masculinity isn't about domination or aggression. It's about responsibility, resilience, and respect. It's about knowing when to lead and when to support. How can you handle it? Don't shrink. Own your masculinity with confidence and purpose. The modern world may not always understand it, but real strength is quiet, respectful, and most importantly, true to who you are. Don't apologize for it. Number 6. Women compete more than they cooperate in the modern dating world. Many men feel like they're in the middle of a competition rather than a partnership. Too often, women are more focused on competing with each other for attention, validation, and social standing than they are on building a cooperative, supportive relationship. This mindset creates unnecessary drama where relationships feel more like power struggles than collaborative efforts. Why does this happen? The rise of social media and the constant need for external validation has turned some women into competitors rather than partners. The chase for likes and status often takes precedence over real emotional connection. So what's the solution? Men want a woman who values unity over rivalry, someone who prioritizes teamwork, emotional intelligence, and mutual growth. Look for cooperation, not competition. If she's constantly seeking validation from others, it's time to move on. True connection thrives on collaboration, not comparison. The feminized marriage model failed over time. The traditional marriage model has shifted, and for many older men, it just doesn't work anymore. The rise of the feminized marriage model has led to relationships where men are expected to take on roles they're not naturally inclined to, such as being overly emotionally expressive or balancing traditional roles with modern expectations. In many cases, this imbalance leads to resentment and frustration on both sides. Why did it fail? The feminist ideals that empowered women also pushed for men to relinquish leadership in relationships, which created a power struggle. The expectations became unrealistic, and many men felt their true roles. Providers, protectors, and leaders were undermined. What's the fix? Men today are seeking balance. They want partnerships where roles are defined by mutual respect, not by social trends. Strong, supportive relationships thrive on the understanding that both partners contribute in their own way, respectfully and intentionally. Number 8. Their value finally caught up with their age. As men grow older, their value in the eyes of others often increases, especially when it comes to experience, wisdom, and financial stability in their younger years. Many may have felt overlooked or undervalued as society tends to place a premium on youth and looks. But as time passes, older men's achievements, career success, emotional maturity, and life experience become more attractive. Why is this important? Men now realize their value and are no longer willing to settle for superficial relationships. They've built something meaningful, whether it's wealth, a strong sense of self, or personal accomplishments. The older they get, the more their worth becomes evident not just to others but to themselves. So what does this mean for relationships? Older men have high standards because they've learned the hard way. They aren't just looking for someone to impress. They want a partner who values them for the person they've become, not just their accomplishments. Number 9. Old men want purpose. Not pretty problems. As men age, they become more focused on what truly matters in life. They've spent years working hard to achieve goals, build careers, and find fulfillment. Now they crave purpose over petty distractions. Older men often find that relationships filled with drama or constant issues don't serve their greater vision. They've already spent enough time managing unnecessary problems and now seek partnerships that align with their values and goals. Why does this shift happen? With age comes clarity, the desire to contribute to something meaningful. Whether through work, family, or personal growth, outweighs dealing with superficial issues. What does this mean for relationships? They want a partner who adds value to their life, not one who brings more stress. It's about building a shared purpose. Someone who is committed to growth, stability, and mutual respect at this stage. It's peace, productivity, and purpose. Not pretty problems. Number 10, high standards or no standards at all. Older men have learned the importance of setting boundaries and knowing their worth. They've been through enough to know exactly what they want in a partner, and for them, it's all or nothing. Either they have high standards or they have none at all. There's no middle ground after experiencing failed relationships and learning from mistakes. They've realized that compromising on what matters most only leads to dissatisfaction. Why do high standards matter? Having high standards means not settling for less than what you deserve. It's about finding someone who aligns with your values, someone who respects you, your time, and your journey. But sometimes men find it easier to stay single than deal with someone who doesn't meet those standards. What's the key for older men? It's simple: either the relationship brings real value and alignment, or it's not worth pursuing. It's about quality, not quantity. Number 11. He's experienced more peace without a woman 150 words after years of navigating the complexities of relationships. Many older men find that they have more peace without a partner. They've built lives filled with purpose, stability, and personal growth, and the idea of bringing in the turbulence of another person often feels unnecessary. The emotional ups and downs, constant compromises, and unpredictable dynamics just don't appeal to them anymore. Why is this so significant? After reaching a certain point in life, the desire for peace and tranquility outweighs the search for romance or companionship. Men who've been through divorce, difficult relationships, or even just the pressures of balancing personal goals with a partner's expectations recognize that solitude can bring clarity and inner peace. What's the takeaway? Peace becomes the priority. It's not about rejecting companionship. It's about knowing that emotional balance and stability are worth more than the chaos that comes with an ill-suited relationship. Number 12. Wisdom comes with wrinkles as men age. They accumulate more than just gray hairs. They gain wisdom, perspective, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. The wrinkles that come with time are just signs of age. They're symbols of lessons learned, experiences gained, and challenges overcome. Older men have lived through enough to know what works and what doesn't. Why is this wisdom so powerful? It allows them to navigate life and relationships with confidence and clarity. They've learned what to prioritize and what to let go of, and they no longer waste time on things that don't serve them. How does this affect relationships? Older men can quickly spot red flags and understand what kind of partner will truly complement their life. They're no longer swayed by superficial attraction or fleeting emotions. They seek depth, connection, and compatibility. The wisdom they've gained guides their choices and makes them more discerning than ever before. Number 13. The dancing monkey phase is over. Older men have long since shed the need to entertain or perform for anyone's approval. The days of playing the dancing monkey, constantly putting on a show to impress or win favor, are behind them. They've already proven themselves through hard work, achievements, and life experience. The need for external validation fades away as they realize that real value doesn't come from applause but from authenticity. Why does this shift matter? As men mature, they no longer feel the pressure to constantly entertain or act a certain way to gain attention. They are comfortable in their own skin and know that true respect comes from being genuine, not performing. What does this mean for relationships? They seek a partner who appreciates them for who they are, not for the persona they put on. Men at this stage want real connections, not superficial performances or validation-seeking behaviors. Number 14. The dating pool is spiritual poison for many older men. The modern dating pool feels toxic with the rise of casual hookups, superficial connections, and people looking for quick thrills rather than meaningful relationships. The entire dating scene can feel like a spiritual wasteland. The constant bombardment of shallow expectations, fake personas, and emotional instability leaves many men disillusioned. Why is it so toxic? The focus is often on instant gratification rather than long-term compatibility. Too many people, especially in the online dating world, approach relationships as games to be won rather than genuine connections to be nurtured. What's the impact on older men? They've experienced enough to know that true love and respect take time and effort. The endless cycle of meaningless encounters isn't worth it. So what's the solution? Older men choose to step out of this toxic environment. They wait for something real, something deeper, understanding that true connection can't be rushed or forced. Number 15. Loss of sex drive or avoiding intimacy altogether. As men age, changes in their physical health and emotional priorities often lead to a decline in sex drive for some. The once powerful desire for intimacy fades, while for others, the thought of physical closeness may feel like more of a burden than a pleasure. Why does this happen? Hormonal changes, stress, and the emotional toll of past relationships can all play a role in reducing libido. For many older men, intimacy becomes less about physical connection and more about emotional comfort and companionship. What's the deeper impact men who have been through enough relationships know that intimacy isn't just about sex, it's about connection. When the desire fades, some choose to avoid intimacy altogether, rather than engage in superficial encounters that don't fulfill them. What should they do? Embrace the change. Men should focus on emotional connection and seek relationships where intimacy is defined by more than just physical pleasure. Number 16. Desire for freedom without accountability. As men grow older, the desire for freedom becomes stronger. They've spent years balancing work, family, and responsibilities. And now, more than ever, they want the ability to live life on their own terms. The thought of being accountable to someone else in a relationship can feel like a restriction on that hard-earned freedom. Why is this important? Men who have worked hard to build their independence often cherish their ability to make decisions without having to answer to anyone. The idea of having to explain every move or seek permission to do things can feel like a step backward. What's the impact on relationships for older men? Relationships can feel like an anchor that pulls them away from their personal goals and adventures. They crave the autonomy to explore, grow, and live without having to constantly compromise. What's the solution? Find a partner who respects your freedom and supports your ambitions without stifling your independence. Number 17. Fear of emotional vulnerability after years of emotional wounds. Whether from failed relationships, betrayal, or personal loss, many older men develop a deep fear of being emotionally vulnerable. Opening up means risking hurt again, and after protecting themselves for so long, the idea of letting their guard down feels too risky. Why does this happen? The scars left from past emotional pain make it hard to trust again. Men who've been hurt in love or friendship may have built walls around their emotions to keep themselves safe. What's the real impact? The fear of vulnerability can prevent men from forming deep, meaningful connections. They might keep their emotions in check, unwilling to share or express their true feelings. So what's the way forward? Healing takes time. The key is finding someone trustworthy who encourages emotional openness without judgment. For men who fear vulnerability, taking small steps toward emotional transparency can lead to deeper, more fulfilling relationships. Number 18. Some just don't want to lead at all after years of being in leadership roles. Whether at work, in personal relationships, or within the family, some older men simply don't want the responsibility of leading anymore. They've carried the weight of decisions, expectations, and constant problem-solving for much of their lives. The thought of taking on another leadership role, especially in a romantic relationship, can feel like too much of a burden. Why does this happen? Leadership, while rewarding, is exhausting. The mental and emotional toll of making decisions for others, carrying the load of a household, or managing a partner's needs can wear a man down over time. What's the effect? Men may withdraw from relationships where they feel expected to lead. They may seek partners who are more self-sufficient, who can share the load and contribute equally. What's the solution if leading no longer appeals? It's about finding balance. A partnership where roles are shared and mutual is key, where leadership doesn't fall solely on one person. Bonus point: men can stay single until they find structure, submission, and sanctification. The bonus point: some men choose to stay single, not out of fear or frustration, but because they know what they truly need in a relationship. Structure, submission, and sanctification. These aren't just lofty ideals. They're the foundation for a balanced, fulfilling partnership. What does structure mean? It's about finding a relationship that has clear, defined roles and expectations where both partners know their purpose and contribute meaningfully. What about submission? It doesn't mean control. It means mutual respect and understanding, where both partners yield to one another's strengths. For men, submission often means finding a partner who can respect their role as a leader while offering emotional support. Sanctification is about spiritual growth and shared values, a partnership that aligns with your deeper purpose in life. Men who seek these qualities know that a relationship built on these principles is far more rewarding than simply rushing into any union. Only when they find this will they consider commitment. Thank you for sticking with us to the end. If you made it this far, drop a simple word like "ready" in the comments to let us know you've been watching. Don't forget to check out the links in the description for all the resources and items mentioned today. Please like this video to support our growth and subscribe to the channel for more content. Just like this, share this with someone who could benefit, and remember, we've recommended another video for you to watch next. Thanks again.